Black, white, Asian. Where do these racial categories even come from? Spoiler, they weren't based on biology. They were invented by doctors using science that we now know to be pseudoscience. But those impacts, they're still shaping medicine today. My name's Dr. Joel, the Medical Mythbuster, and welcome back to episode 9 of Hidden Medical History. Today, let's talk about the scientists who defined race, and how race and racism still have direct impacts on medicine today. To start, we have to go back to the 1700s and meet Swedish botanist Carolus Linnaeus. He was the same guy that we all learned classified plants and animals. But in his 10th edition of his book, Systema Naturae, he decided that he could also classify humans, and split us into 4 so-called varieties: Americanus, Europaeus, Africaticus, and Asiaticus. Each came with personality traits and physical descriptors, none of which were based on science. But the false stereotypes, if you pause and look at this chart, they stuck. Then came Johann Blumenbach, a German physician who in 1795 coined the term Caucasian. He believed skulls from the Caucasus Mountains were the most beautiful. His 5-race theory laid the groundwork for ranking humanity, with white Europeans conveniently on top. Other scientists came along to try and perpetuate the belief using science that white people were superior and that slavery was justified. In the 1800s, American physician Samuel Morton took it further. He looked at skulls, measured their sizes, and said that larger skulls meant smarter brains, and that white people had the biggest skulls. His work was embraced as proof that white people were superior, and that had deadly consequences. And despite physicians like Friedrich Tiedemann disproving him, Morton's false conclusions spread because it supported slavery and white supremacy. These myths weren't just confined to anthropology, they spread to medicine too, and those stains are still here today. One of the clearest examples, a device called a spirometer, invented in the 1840s by English surgeon John Hutchinson in order to measure lung capacity. It was originally used to assess fitness for police, military, and life insurance applicants. But when the technology spread to the Americas, doctors like Samuel Cartwright twisted it. Cartwright claimed that black people naturally had lower lung capacity, and he tried to use the spirometer to prove it. It was a myth that was repeated by people like President Thomas Jefferson, who in notes on the state of Virginia echoed that myth and stated that working in the fields revitalized the lungs of black people. The problem is that racist assumption got baked into the device itself. Even now, for decades, spirometry machines have had an automatic race correction that assumes that black people and Asian people have lower lung functioning. And only in 2021 was the race correction recommended to be removed. That's a direct line from 19th century pseudoscience to 21st century care. And unfortunately, it's just one of many examples. The myth of racial differences wasn't accidental. It was designed to maintain inequality. And understanding that history is the first step to unlearning it today. Follow, like, and share to bust more medical myths.